What is up? It is another episode of Dynasty Pylon. My name is Martin. I'm here with the guy in the chair, Braden. What's up, dude?
Not a whole lot.
Just chilling. It's been a little quiet
It's been a little
until
slower now.
yeah, just a little bit until like recently afternoon. Uh,
Yeah.
but then which is kind of crazy because we were just gonna talk about recent news and then just kind of dive into the rookie running backs, which we will get into. We're doing Isaiah Spiller and James Cook today. So we'll probably look at a little bit of film on them. And finally, we've been trying to do this for weeks now.
Yeah, I feel like
But
3 weeks.
yeah,
It's been a minute.
but every single time, it's like what you were saying earlier, something happens. There's always like some news or something that breaks out and then just kind of takes up our whole show time. And they're like, oh, we'll just push it back. We're just push it back. I'm like, all right, we need to get to a crunch time. We're going to have to knock these out pretty soon on a non-Wednesday because typically we go live Wednesdays. But I was like, I'll probably end up doing them by myself on Friday or Saturday or figure it out from there or do it like that. But, and yes, yeah, I did. I did remember his name. I kept, what's funny is like he's talking about James Cook, and Mark is not with us. Obviously, he's in the comments. And what's up, man? Uh, Mark is feeling a little under the weather, lost his voice, um, something like that. So it's ironic because I just got my booster shot, like just now, like probably less than an hour ago. So
Make
I
sure you
know.
move the arm, you know?
Yeah. But
Yeah,
I'll
yeah.
probably end up going after. I'll probably go to the gym or something after this, anyways, or something. I'm a little banged up. I got some recent news in my family, so I've been kind of. There was a death in the family, so I've been kind of going there, focus mainly. So football, whatever. So if my coach is watching, sorry. I won't be good at practice today. So, but other than that, though, uh, tell me what you feel about this whole Bruce Arians recent news.
I'm not too surprised he retired. I'm kind of surprised about the timing of it and like why it took so long. Like
That's my
why
question.
why
Yeah.
why now? Because I know he's had health issues and like watch like him being the former Cardinals coach, I learned a lot about him. And like at the end of the year, he always gets like severely sick, and so I know stress is always something that like he deals with, and
Hmm.
like I don't know if he knows how to handle it very well. But I know he's was he the third oldest coach in the league or second oldest coach in the league
It
behind
hasn't
like
like
Pete
Pete
Carroll.
Carroll. Yeah,
Yeah,
Pete
Pete
Carroll's winning
Carroll's
the
like the
race already.
oldest.
Yeah.
So like I'm not too surprised by him retiring. It's just kind of like why now all of a sudden, I guess.
Yeah. I know when he was when he was here in Arizona, he was having health issues,
Mm-hmm.
uh, blood pressure issues, and I think he had a heart attack, right, or something like that. Like
He
in
did
the
have to go
middle.
to he had to go to the hospital for something. I can't remember exactly what it was, but
Yeah, it
he
was like
was
right
fine
after a
after
game.
that. And yeah,
Yeah.
and
Um.
then I know when he went to Tampa Bay, he did a lot more delegating. Like obviously he had Leftwich as the OC, so he wasn't doing all the play calling. So he did a lot better at delegating everything out. But I'm guessing stress still got to him, or
Yeah. No. Something. It's really weird that it's still fresh. Like it just happened like recently,
yeah.
so it's kind of breaking news almost. Um. It didn't happen during the show, or else I'd be using my little graphic here. But I look. I'm proud of this thing. All right. I'm proud of
Yeah.
that thing. um. But I was. It was just yesterday. They asked him, "How do you feel about Brady coming back?" And his answer was, "It's a sigh of relief," because knowing at the quarterback issue that's going on right now, a lot of teams don't even have a quarterback. Like they don't have a legit starter. Like
Well, yeah, they were staring Blaine Gabbert in the eyes to be the starter week one, or Kyle Trask, I guess.
yeah, so
So
with him coming back, they asked Arians yesterday during uh the general managers coaches meeting there, which is also recent of news with this whole week. I guess they had their meeting, their annual meeting. Um, the overtime rule just got not so much changed. I guess it got because it got changed.
They tweaked it for the playoffs only.
Yeah, but then they were also talking about keeping it the same for the regular season too.
The regular season, it's the same as it was. Like if you win the coin toss, you go down, score, game over. But now in the playoffs, if they go down, score, you get a chance to go back.
Mm-hmm.
But so regular season is the same. Playoffs, a little bit more excitement, I guess.
And Mark says maybe they needed him to bring back Brady. So Bruce Arians convinced Brady to come back, and then he would retire. I understand.
I don't know, because I feel
I
like
don't
him
think so.
and Leftwich had a very strong relationship from what I had always read.
I think it was the money thing. My theory. My theory was the whole money issue where he retired a day before that bonus, and then waited like some time period, and then came back when it was like the fresh new year kind of thing. But I don't know. That's just what I thought. I mean, it could have been a numerous of things, but I don't think it was. I don't
I
think
just
it was.
wonder. I wonder if, like, just at the end of the year, you kind of get worn out and need a break, and maybe he thought that was his body telling him he needs to retire, and Giselle telling him to take out the trash got tiring, and he's like, nah, I got to go back. So
Yeah. So I don't know. It's really weird, really interesting on seeing how the Bucks are doing this, but it's they're not in complete shambles. Just because Bruce Arians is leaving doesn't mean that they're not with a open seat. They already had this in plan, and it's going to be Todd Bowles. Todd Bowles is the defensive coordinator, I believe, for the Buccaneers, and
correct.
he's been under Bruce Arians for quite some time. And also, you had mentioned he was a head coach with the.
So he was the defensive coordinator here in Arizona under Bruce Arians, and our defense was really good and got him the head coaching job with the Jets.
Uh-huh.
And then when he went to the Jets, he basically got the Brian Flores treatment. Like, they cut really good players, never got a quarterback in there that they liked, and like he was almost like the scapegoat for their whole team being pretty crappy.
Right.
And then after that, when Bruce, I don't remember if he went anywhere after that or if the timing of Bruce going to Tampa Bay, it just all worked out. He went down there with him.
Mm-hmm. It could have been. But kind of like what you said, he had that head coach already, those shoes already, basically. So I think that's why they gave it to him rather than Leftwich. But
I agree.
Yeah. So I was just repeating what you said before the show, to be honest.
Yeah.
Which makes sense. Like you're already in those shoes. I mean, I guess if it fails, could they just get rid of him and keep Leftwich there? If maybe they like Leftwich, I don't know.
Well, like I was just reading, they gave him a 5. Like, they tore up his 2 years that he had left and gave him like a 5-year extension now. So I think he's going to be a great coach down there. I don't think anything really changes for them because same defensive coordinator, unless he promotes someone to be defensive coordinator. But I still see him doing the defensive calls. Leftwich is still doing the offense with Brady. So
yeah,
I don't think they miss a beat. So
I agree. It's just going to take a little bit more toll on him controlling both defense and being offensive, or not the offensive, but also the head coach. But it's possible. We've seen teams do it where a defensive mind, defensive coordinator coach becomes the head coach, and it works fine. But we'll see how it works out for them. They still have a solid team, still a contending team now that Brady's back. They have, they have I think, a solid draft coming up. Let me open up what they have going on, but I know that it's not entirely too horrible. I know they have a first rounder, which is kind of late, like the 27th pick or something.
Yeah.
They have their second, their third, their fourth. No fifth or no sixth, but they have 2 sevenths. So they have 6-round draft picks. Which not entirely good and not entirely bad. You would like to have 7, but if they're bringing everyone back, essentially, then you'd be okay. They did lose a couple of pieces though, not anything too crazy or significant that will hurt them entirely. So
I think they'll be okay. And they seem to be a team that has drafted well.
Yeah.
So.
Do they go 13-4 again?
That's it's possible, but I doubt it. I mean, I still see him at probably like 11 wins if I had to
That's what I was
guess.
thinking. 11,
Yeah.
11, 6 or something like that. That's what
I feel like Miami's going to be a little bit tougher. Might sneak a couple in on them there.
I would hope so. With all those moves they're making, I would hope so.
Yeah.
I'm just thinking, Miami's been making some moves, man. A lot of people aren't believing the Tua, but
the Saints defense still seems to have Brady's number, so they might steal some games. It just depends on what their offense does. But I mean, they won a game with Trevor Siemian, so it's more than likely they can do it.
No, I don't want to see that. No. Get out of here, dude. No way.
I don't remember what other teams they play this upcoming season, but I can see them still getting 11 wins.
Yeah, easy. We have our chat also. I think it was Tank or someone, but they were saying Brady's going to be like that player
coach. Yeah,
the player coach. So
LeBron James.
Yeah, and he's been in the league long enough. Definitely easy for him to do that. It wouldn't surprise me if he already kind of does that and probably already kind of gives his 2 cents every single time Bruce gave his play, and I'm pretty sure Brady probably said no, or I'm pretty sure that's happened already. So,
well, like I had read before, like Leftwich and Brady, they'd get in early before Bruce would even get there, kind of game plan some stuff. And there was rumors that Bruce threw it all out, so I think that was kind of the speculation of why Brady retired as well. But obviously, Leftwich and Brady have a relationship that works well, and it might exceed expectations even this year.
Yeah, I think they'll be just fine, especially with Carolina and their QB situation, Atlanta and their QB situation. We haven't really seen Atlanta fully function with Mariota. We don't know that yet. We could assume he would do fairly decent, maybe average, because he came in for Carr those couple of games and he balled out. We'd only assume he does the same thing. It looks like Panthers are going to roll with Sam Darnold again, which
I don't know. I don't know. I could still see them making a move at draft night or something.
That's what I'm thinking too.
The Browns have to unload Baker, and I feel like Carolina is a destination he could go to. I feel like he'd be an upgrade over Darnold, but
I think they might release him, and I think that's going to wait.
I think it's like $18 million in dead cap if they release Baker.
Yeah, but I don't think they could trade him. Like, I don't think anyone's like, we would have had some type of something in the whisper, like something by now.
Well, I think they wanted. Right? Well, I think they wanted picks for Baker, but now they have no leverage, so teams are asking them for draft picks. Like, we'll take him off your like you give us a draft pick and we'll take Baker for you. Like, what are you going to? You're going to keep him on your roster, or you're going to eat $18 million? So I think teams are, like the way they handled it wasn't the best.
No, it wasn't.
It's very the Cardinals Josh Rosen situation. All we ended up getting was, I think, a third, maybe a second round pick.
That's probably
can't remember exactly.
To be honest.
Yeah. And then we didn't do anything with that draft pick, so Andy Isabella did not turn out.
No, definitely not. But he might this year. I don't know. No. If Hopkins play, like with AJ Green out and Christian
with
Kirk
Hopkins out last year, we didn't even use him. We brought in a kid that played at Texas Tech under Cliff. No, Antoine Wesley.
That's right. Yeah, we didn't even know who he was until like almost the last couple of weeks of the season. So
yeah, I was like, who the hell is this guy? Like,
yeah, I don't know. It's really weird how a certain move that someone makes in the league that changes the whole division or the whole team itself. Like right now, we're just talking about the Buccaneers and how it's going to change the whole division. I still think that people aren't really taking the Kamara issue serious enough. That guy's going to somehow at some point get some type of suspension. but nobody's talking about it. It's just there, and like it worries me.
I think like right now it's just a background issue until it actually becomes a focus, and like I'm assuming they got to go see a judge and all that stuff, right?
I mean, it's simmering.
So
Sure.
I think once
At
that
some
takes
point.
place, then it becomes a more hot button issue, and teams will talk about it more, or the media will talk about it more. But like right now, there's nothing going on with it, so you can't really, speculate what's going to happen. And there's other more important news to talk about.
Yeah. So I don't know. That division definitely has been doing some interesting things. Not a whole lot, but it's been enough to where the whole division itself, the NFC South, is just like okay. But anyways, other than that, Todd Bowles gonna take over. He's gonna be a defensive-minded head coach there for the next 5 years. If it works out, then he's there. If not, then we've seen NFL coaches get the boot and go somewhere else. So good luck to him. At least for him, does this mean that he gets an extra week of practice? Don't they do that to new head coaches? Is that still considered like for him? I don't know.
Because then the
Because it's
Saints would
before the new
too,
year.
because you promoted somebody, right? I don't know.
Essentially.
I don't know if you have to bring in like a mostly new staff to get that, or if it's just a new head coach. That's a good question.
I always thought it was a new head coach so they can have like a whole extra week with their guys.
Yeah.
But the fact that it wasn't done during month of February, and rather than the new year, because technically it's no longer off season. By the books of the NFL, it's no longer off season. We are now into the 2022 season. So I don't know. It's very interesting. We'll see if they get an extra week, then good for them. At the same time, if they don't, I don't think it'll hurt him too much because he's already kind of already accumulated himself into the program anyway. So
yeah, it's almost the same team, just minus the figurehead.
And then
it's a Hydra. You cut off the head, 2 more grow up. So
pretty much. And then Bruce isn't technically 100% retired.
He's retiring from coaching, so he's just moving into the front office as some type of advisor of some sort.
Right, like Luis Gonzalez.
Yeah. I don't know exactly what Bruce is doing, but
yeah, we'll see. Well, I hope he has a little bit an easier job.
Less stress. Maybe it allows him more time with his family and stuff, because I know that was part of the reason as well why he retired the first time.
Yeah, for sure, 100%. So, all right. Well, that was basically all that we had for as of recent news. Buccaneers. Is there any players that you kind of wanted to talk about before we jump into these rookies, or anything that you felt like you wanted to get off your chest as of late and we didn't mention in the last couple of shows? Anything at all?
I'm just excited about Jared Goff being on Hard Knocks for the 3rd time.
Oh my gosh. Should we just call it Jared Knox?
Yeah, should.
Yeah, he
3 times. That's insane.
Oh, it's funny. They might as well just give him like his own segment like this season. Like,
yeah,
oh, that's funny. I'm actually excited for this. Dan Campbell is really exciting to see on TV. So he's legitimately gonna have himself like minimum of 5 episodes.
I legit want to see if he drinks as much coffee as he says he does. Like he says he just consumes an absurd amount of caffeine. So I wonder if he's bringing in just like giant mugs or like, big gulp cups of coffee. He has
an assistant constantly filling up his cup.
Yeah.
Getting him
he's got the button on the desk to just bring me new coffee. He's entertaining for sure.
So. Yeah. So I'm excited for that. I know they're putting out reruns right now of the Cowboys and the Colts right now, so out on HBO Max. But if you don't have HBO Max, and there's always other ways to watch it. On Motor City, Dan Campbell is a must-watch TV. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Yes. So I'm excited for that. And I know you and I are probably the only ones in our Nerd Huddle kind of believe that the Lions can shift their way into a more positive upside. I know the guys in Chicago hate the fact that I say that because it's in their division and they've been saying
Yeah,
it for years. But now that we're on the Lions, why do you think that's a
I,
possibility?
once Dan Campbell actually started doing the play calling last year, I feel like the offense started to be not as muddy looking. Like it actually you know, looked like an offense.
Mm-hmm.
And the defense, I mean, they're still pieces away, so I don't think they're going to come out and like be competing for the division or anything. But
Yeah,
I don't know. I just feel like everybody in that locker room plays real hard for them. They're all there to love Dan Campbell, and
they seem to like him. Yeah,
yeah, they all love that guy. So I think they play hard for him. And like I said, once Campbell started doing play calling, the offense started to look, normal and decent.
right.
So he got the most out of Goff that he could. And I mean, if they draft another quarterback, I guess we'll see what happens with that. But
I still think that Goff would probably be the legit week one starter if they do bring
oh
up,
yeah,
if somehow they get Kenny Pickett or Sam Howell there. Or I don't expect Malik Willis still being there that late.
they have the number 2 pick. You don't think they use that one?
If yeah,
That would be kind of like a do or die situation. I
yeah,
feel
is it
like.
a smart move though? Is it? I don't know. Like, I don't think I would
Uh,
use my number 2 pick on Malik Willis.
but maybe they're
I
looking
would.
at it the same way like the Niners did. Trey Lance was a third round or a number 3 pick, and he's still not ready, I think, in most people's eyes. And
I guess, but
Malik
then
Willis has a lot of promise, and you can just let him sit behind Goff, and because I don't think anyone thinks Goff is the long term answer there.
no, he's not,
So,
and we all
so
know
if you
that.
think Malik Willis is the guy, maybe you take him. I don't think it's the smartest pick,
If
but
I would get Akeem Mkwanu before I would use my draft pick on or yeah, even what Mark said, even maybe Aiden Hutchinson.
I could see
Um,
Aiden Hutchinson going 1 though,
they're saying Evan
because
Neal might go number 1
yeah,
there.
but I think they've done some stuff with the offensive line, so I don't think that's as big a need for them now.
Mm-hmm.
And then you get Aiden Hutchinson. I mean, he could be one of those, Bosa's, Chase Young type guys that you're going to have for a while.
Aiden Hutchinson reminds me of that old Vikings guy. I told Mark this. Allen, what was his first name?
Jared
Yeah, that
Jared
guy.
Allen.
That's
Yeah,
what he reminds me of. Just this big, mean monstrosity coming at
he's a
you.
big guy.
Yeah. He's like 6'6", 265 or something like that. He's huge. If you're wondering and you're watching this later, we've had clips on him before. If you're watching this and you're just wondering, we did lineman first. I actually don't have it in our rookie reviews page, our little what's it called when you put them all together, the playlist. I don't have them in the playlist. I left the D line out. I started with the linebackers. I started kind of late, but we did do linemen. So if you want to skip through that, find it there if you're watching this later. But he's not bad. I just think Malik Willis will probably be gone, top 10 pick maybe. If they're lucky, they
Yeah,
might get Sam Howell. I personally like Sam Howell. A lot of people just forgot about him. And honestly, I'm going to tell you right now, I think Sam Howell is my number 1 QB over all of them. I really think so. And if people don't like that, people probably can argue like why. But to me, Sam Howell was legit one of the best coming in before the hype
well,
of all these other QBs
he
coming in.
lost all his weapons, right?
Exactly.
Yeah,
And I don't know
so
if you like on when I was talking to Brian in Tank, and I made the whole reference that the Iron Man reference when they took everything away from him, he wasn't as great. So
Oh yeah, your Iron Man 2 reference. I remember that now.
yeah, with Justin
Yeah.
Hammer going in the room,
Yeah,
taking
taking
his
the bird. Yeah.
taking
Yeah.
his boots, taking his pillow, and that's exactly how Sam Howell was. They took everything
Yeah.
from him. He had no weapons. So this is why his last year wasn't that great compared to the other years.
Yeah.
But it is what it is. I still believe that he's if I were to go into rookie draft right now and I'm sitting at, I don't know, 108, 109, and I'm desperate for a QB.
Are you talking about me?
No, are you at the
No,
108, 109?
I think I'm at 108. Yeah.
Oh, my bad. No, I
No,
really
it's
had
all
no, there's no reference to you at all. My bad, dude.
no, it's all good. It
All
was
right.
just funny, the coincidence.
I mean, all right. So now that you bring up your team, you have like a gangload of QBs right now.
I was loading up in case some of them got
I
traded or
think I
picked.
see your strategy. I
Yeah.
see why. And so the other teams don't get a QB.
Well, there was also that. I mean, there's probably guys like I definitely have to drop some because I don't know why nobody's maybe making a run at like Gardner Minshew. Because when he did play, I feel like he was a lot better than some guys, but he's stuck in Philadelphia now.
He'll play somewhere at some point. We know.
See, that could be an option for Carolina, but like I think Gardner just gets forgotten about, and I don't know.
So
Yeah.
So Mark said there has been some new mock drafts with no QBs in the first. That's crazy. That's kind of interesting to see.
Yeah.
And I wonder if these recent pro days have changed that. Because Trayvon Walker out of nowhere has been climbing the boards. I'm like, what? It's crazy how pro days and all these combines just change that, and that's never happened.
Someone will draft a quarterback because teams get desperate.
So.
Like they don't. They're probably not first round talents for a lot of them, but teams get desperate and they're like, we got to try something.
Yeah, like the Lions and the Panthers.
Yeah, the Panthers are definitely
Seattle is my.
You mean you don't think they're gonna roll with Drew Lock?
No, man, no. He's the worst. If they roll with Drew Lock, they are purposely tanking, like legit. Like they're trying to tank for Young. And Bryce Young is going to be the main guy next season. So.
I don't want to see that.
As
a Cardinals fan, I don't want somebody great going up there either again. So,
yeah. We'll see. They could be tanking on purpose. Atlanta could easily tank if they can. They could probably tank on accident, even with Mariota. The Steelers can. There's just so many questions with the QB spot this season, and I'm honestly, I'm putting my eggs in a basket where Sam Howell's at. Wherever team he lands, I'll put all my eggs in that basket. I still think he's a legit starter. None of these QBs are week one ready, in my opinion, but we'll see one or two of them start week one, and that's just because of the team they land on.
Maybe Kenny Pickett, but he doesn't have a very high ceiling. Like he's probably the most ready one coming out of college, but like I don't think you're going to get much higher like production out of him.
Yeah, no, I agree with what you said, and also agree with what Jimmy Mills said. One of the craziest ones I've ever seen. It's like NFL became fantasy football. It just there was big names traded left and right, and it's been crazy. It's been awesome for us who play Dynasty. It's been quite the change because
it's shaking up a lot of stuff. I feel like.
Oh yeah, definitely. I'm happy because it now makes me feel a lot better about my Michael Pittman because now he has a much stronger QB. So I'm happy about that.
I was debating about dropping Matt Ryan because I didn't know how productive he would be in Atlanta, but now that he's in Indy, I was like, I probably keep him now. So
yeah, exactly. That's what I love about it.
There's a lot more upside there.
it changes everything, man. And that's what I
Yeah.
love about the Dynasty. Like a single move, like when Baker changes over, whichever team they do it during the draft? Do they do it, when someone gets hurt? I don't know. That will change how you will do our drafts because our league's draft isn't until like late April or late July. Sorry, um, just before preseason, and then I do weekly waivers to kind of give people the chance to figure out if they like their rookie and whatnot, whatever they do. Your team, your squad. If you want to fail, go ahead. I don't care. I'll take your money. All right. So today we have about 30 minutes left. Let's just knock out these rookies real quick and
All
just
right.
kind of talk about them. And we will start with James Cook out of Georgia. Let me put up his stats real quick. So James Cook, uh, last year kind of unheard of until as of recent. Like, his this is Cook's little brother, Minnesota. This is his little brother, James Cook. And during the combine, it was kind of interesting to see. I don't know if you saw that little replay of Dalvin Cook and James Cook running side by side together.
Oh yeah, the simul
They,
cast thing.
yeah,
Yeah.
they were like pretty much the same. I think James had him by like a fraction of a second, barely. Uh,
Yeah.
yeah, so it was kind of interesting to see. So, um, not a whole lot of usage, which not necessarily a bad thing, but not necessarily a good thing either.
Yeah. It
Um,
makes you curious why he couldn't get into the fold more sooner. I guess.
in this, when I'm looking at these stats, it kind of tells me he might be a good pass catcher. Just reading this right here, a
Yeah.
good pass catcher. I'm only seeing that he only played a handful of games as junior. There could be an injury there. 1,500 total rushing yards plus 730. So I'm seeing here that he's more of a pass catcher. We'll see. We'll break down the film. We'll see this film, see what we actually feel about how his career went there in Georgia. Um, but you know, if they're not used in college much, that means that their bodies probably can last a little bit longer in the NFL. Now, of course, he has to
Yeah.
transfer over to NFL. Hopefully, makes that transition. See if it's good. But I don't. It's not bad. So at least he broke 2,000 yards in rushing. So maybe like two back. Definitely RB2, RB3 status. Someone goes down, pick
Yes.
them up type. So all right. So let
Change
me.
of pace back.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
let me see if I could get his. Now I'm hoping we don't get monetized today. We've been having issues with that lately. But I will flip the screen and see. Hopefully, maybe that helps. But
Hopefully.
yeah, it's we've disputed it. We've been said, hey, we're just we're not copying anything. We're just evaluating these rookies. That's all we're doing. So let's put us down here. Kind of help out. Oop, there we go. All right, there we go. That's what I want. All right. And so James Cook out of Georgia, predicted to go to Atlanta. 5'11", 190, potentially going to Atlanta. But I don't know. I hope that Atlanta gets somebody. I hope that
I thought you loved old, washed up running backs there.
no, they do. I don't. It's not flipped. Why is it not flipped? Let's try that again. I don't want to get
Shut down.
well, as of late, we've been doing a little shutdown here.
Yeah.
So I don't know why it's not doing it. Um, if not, we'll. It's weird. It just happened this season. Like last year, they didn't do this until as of recent. Um, let's see if that helps. It's not going to be the best, but Let me see if I can blow it up. I think once I blow it up, it doesn't do it anymore. Yeah, that's the issue. Let me see if I can flip it now. Let me refresh it. Flip it. Oh, there it is. Hold on. No? All right. We'll just do it this way. We'll get a small screen.
Make it work.
Yeah, it'll be all right. We'll find it. So, he's quick. All I know is he's quick. I'm gonna look up his combine stats while we look at that.
All right.
Let's see. James Cook combine stats. So on his first attempt, he ran a 4.5, and then he ran a 4.58 on his second attempt. So not entirely too fast.
But game speed seems to be there.
Yeah, game speed definitely is definitely the change too. I think we're gonna get monetized. I guarantee you we will. It's CBS, man.
Yeah, big networks, they don't like you using their stuff without permission.
Look, dude. Are we still on as of now? Are we still good? Mark, are we still on? I hope so. Let me skip ahead. That way we're not playing so much of it. But he's finding the holes. He's finding his gaps.
Yeah.
You know, and there's another pass catch right there.
I think that's what he's going to excel at in the NFL. Okay. I think if you get like your RB1 kind of winded, like he maybe broken them down a little bit, you bring him in just with the speed. He can probably have some big gains.
Naeem Hines kind of role.
Yeah, a lot like that.
The dude can catch, man. So yeah. we kind of called it. Like he's more of a pass catcher. But he's not bad in the run either.
No, but that's what I'm saying. Like, if you have like a big RB1 and he can wear down the defense, and he needs a breather, you bring him in, he'll probably just gut them, and have big gains on somebody.
So be behind like someone like Derrick Henry.
Yeah,
big bruiser, and then bring him in a little speed.
Yeah,
I can see that.
I mean, he could go to Minnesota and play behind his brother. So
that would be insane. That would be kind of cool to see.
Oh, I agree. But yeah, I think you need that, big RB1, and then he comes in, change of pace, a little bit quicker.
Yeah. Not bad. Yeah. I like what I see.
But yeah, definitely like an RB2, RB3. He'll be great on like third down plays.
Yeah. Roll him out as a wheel, or maybe a screenplay or something.
He'll probably be a mismatch for linebackers in the middle. So
yeah. So out of Georgia, 190. I think that might have changed. I'm not sure. Let me look at that change in the combine. But like I said, he ran a 4.5 and a 4.58 the second time. Not entirely seeing his weight besides from what I have here, but according to this, it's 190. I think that might be at 200 now, but he's 5'11".
Yeah, you'd kind of hope he'd put on just a little bit more weight.
Yeah, I don't know if I like the 190. I don't think that's right either. I'll have to find it later, but as we get closer, it'll change too. So,
it's only 22 right now, so there's still time to put on some muscle.
Yeah. I mean, that's their life. Their bodies are their life. Like as long as they're healthy, they play. This is exactly what they need to do. All right, so Isaiah Spiller, kind of been bouncing around the boards. Was essentially going to be the number one. Then he bounced down to number 2. Kenneth Walker had an amazing pro day. Now he's at number 3. So Isaiah Spiller, Kenneth Walker, Brees Hall are kind of in the same tier right now. Kind of like if you grab one of these, I think it won't be as bad. So let's bring out his stats real quick. Isaiah Spiller out of Texas A&M is 225 pounds, 6'1". So ideal in my eyes. I think that's a perfect running back size.
Yeah.
I don't know from this mock draft that said potentially going to Kansas City. I still can see that. I don't think CEH or Rojo is the guy. I feel like all right. Rojo's an interesting move.
Yeah.
I don't know
He
how
he has upside, but like he never displays it. Because like we've seen him be like a dominant running back in certain games, but he must have just really pissed off Bruce Arians.
No, yeah. There was a point where like, oh, Rojo's the guy. Fournette is not gonna sniff the field at all.
Yeah.
And there was weeks where we had that. And then as of this recent season, he just disappeared. He fumbled at once and it was done. That was it.
Yeah. Bruce
Like,
Bruce doesn't like you dropping the ball.
He never got
he doesn't mind you throwing interceptions, but you fumble it, you're done for the year.
Yeah. So Isaiah Spiller out of Texas A&M. Let's see. So so definitely a big difference between James Cook and Isaiah Spiller. This guy was used. This guy was the main guy. Back-to-back 1,000 yards, practically 1,000 yards on his freshman year. That's what you kind of want to see, knowing as a high potential motor running back as your RB1. I easily see this guy being day one starter. He's a big back. Clearly, he's not too bad on when it comes to. I don't know if the combine was too hot. Let me see what he got at the combine. But did you have anything about
like
him?
I told you before? Well, I don't remember too much because I did this research like 3 weeks ago, I feel like, but
yeah, we've been trying to roll it out.
But I don't know. I'd have to go back and watch like his elusiveness, but like size wise, like he kind of gives me like a Nick Chubb vibe.
Okay.
Like, cause he's going to be powerful, but I don't know if he's as quick because I don't remember offhand. But like that was the first assumption I remember kind of having.
What I kind of saw size wise, I saw Antonio Gibson, like exact size wise.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Some players didn't do certain events.
Yeah.
And I wonder if he was one of the guys.
He was limited, it says.
I'm not seeing anything. There is no 40-yard. There's no bench press. A 30 on the vertical jump and a 114 on the broad jump. So, all right. So here's what this tells me. He knows his draft capital. He knows he's going, as a higher prospected running back. He knows he's going to get drafted, and what happens during this time in order to not hurt his value or not, accidentally get hurt. Like, what's his face from? Was it Michigan? The D end.
Jobo.
Yeah. It sucks. So, yeah, that's what this what tells me. He didn't do anything, but he's still prospected to go up high. What's up?
Did he do anything at the pro day? I don't remember.
No, not no. I don't know. Did Texas? I don't think Texas A&M have gone yet. Today was Alabama, was it not?
This is the 22nd of March. So,
no, I haven't gotten anything yet. So, I don't know. We'll find out. But regardless of the fact, though,
yeah,
I'm easily going to use a first round draft pick on this guy if he's still there. Isaiah Spiller is 6'2", 217, or potentially 6'1", 225. Either way, he's a big running back. And he could go Kansas City according to this mock draft. He's been kind of all over the board. Running back is also just as scarce as QB, but
He
not
ran
all.
a 4.63 at the Texas A&M Pro Day.
A 4.63.
Yeah,
That's not fast. I wonder if that's why he dropped, and
could be.
why Kenneth Walker has been immersing more. A 4.63 is, I mean, it's faster than the average person, but as an NFL player, that's not that
Well, yeah,
quick.
you want them to have burst coming out of the backfield, like
For sure.
get through the holes, and
For sure.
yeah, that's
the only thing though, like sometimes is it's like the player's different on the field compared to
it doesn't seem like anybody at the Texas A&M had a quick pro day though. Like nobody ran.
No, even Treylon Burks was supposed to be like really, and he didn't do so hot either.
Yeah, I don't think like he's a game speed guy. Like I don't know if he just doesn't have the right form getting off the blocks or what, but he's fast.
Are you talking about Treylon Burks?
Yeah. And he outran the whole Alabama defense on one play, so.
Yeah. Actually, I think it worked today. It actually worked. Not today, man. They actually did it. Can't talk. It actually worked this time. I figured it out. So now I know. All right. Right? Did it work? It didn't work.
Nah, it's still normal.
Damn it. All right. Never mind. All right, we're not doing it that way. We're going to leave it small screen. All right. Let's just do it this way. And we'll go from here. Bring that up there. Should have changed the way we see it, but it's all right. It's still large enough to see.
Yeah.
But so far, I don't think we've been taken off, so that's good. Thank you, Tank, for showing us this trick. I don't think that's him right there. Oh, wait, yeah, it is.
Yeah.
It is.
He's going to be 82 now.
Yeah. Oh, he's 82 during this video because we flipped it. But he would be 28.
Or 85, I guess.
Yeah. See, when I'm looking at this, how is that 4.6 speed?
That's what I'm saying. Somebody said they asked on Twitter if they were running with cinder blocks or something because nobody was fast at the pro day. So I'm wondering if the hand timers were off or what. But
well, they also used the GPS thing too.
Yeah, I don't know what happened at the pro day there. Slow grass.
It was a lot of questions, and then you'd have Chris Olave running like a damn 4.2. Like what?
Yeah.
So what I'm watching is not 4.6.
See, I wonder if like certain guys you bend them over and then they have to straighten up and run, or if you just get going, like they're already at speed.
Right.
Like nobody's starting in the NFL, well, except for like linemen and stuff, like on their hands. But no running backs in the backfield, 3-point stance or whatever.
True.
This guy can be really good, though. I feel like, yeah.
The difference between him and James Cook is James Cook knows where to go in the holes. Oop,
that did not look good.
No, it didn't. He's quick, so that's why I have a really hard time believing that was his time is a 4.6.
Yeah, I wouldn't put too much stock in 40 times sometimes. I mean, you look at the film, he's obviously fast.
Yeah, and there's that argument where Jerry Rice is 4.7, and then you had Mike Evans who also ran a 4.5. And they're one of the best.
Well, I mean, Cooper Kupp I think was a 4.6 or 4.7. So
right. Right.
If you know how to run routes as a receiver, that'll make up for speed.
If you know how to run routes and you know how to, shed the block or shed, the tackle, I guess. I have seen though, he's not hit on the very first time go. Like he always sheds his
No,
first hit. So he's always gaining yards. I do like that. Again, if I'm sitting at my rookie draft and he's sitting there and I'm somewhere in the middle, I would easily burn my first pick on this guy. Regardless if I
yeah,
needed a running back
he
or
seems
not.
to have a lot of leg strength. He's very twitchy.
Yeah.
I'd worry about like a knee injury later, low maybe, just because of how twitchy he is.
But
Because
yeah,
I
but
remember
DeAndre
Dalvin
Swift
Cook.
is kind of the same though too.
Well, I remember Dalvin Cook like went to do like a juke move on somebody, and just tore an ACL. So that's one thing I always worry about. Like he said later, he's like, "No, I'm just gonna either run through you or just run at full speed and like by you."
I mean, whatever works, man. But
But I mean, some guys are just genetically gifted, so I mean, he may never have an injury. I mean, he looked like he tore an ACL on that one play and he got back up. So,
I mean, look at Saquon, amazing rookie year, and then after that, hasn't really
we'll see
been.
too. I think it'll depend on where he falls, because if he goes to a team with no O line, he's just going to get hit so much.
Oh, man, I would hate for that, dude. That's what hate. And there's always a player that lands somewhere where I love them coming in, and they just land in the worst spot. Like I was a big time Ramondre Stevenson fan coming in. I'm like, oh, he's not like the big time names that are coming in, like Etienne and Najee, like and Kenneth Gainwell, like those guys were the guys coming in. Gainwell ended up in a spot where they are not using him, so I like I don't know what to do with him, to be honest. And I that's me speaking it for my dynasty team. I don't know what I'm gonna do. And then Najee obviously was a high prospect, and then Etienne had the unfortunate injury. And then Stevenson, I wasn't high prospected, but I knew what the talent was. I'm like, I'm gonna get him. But then come day of the draft, he went to the Patriots. I'm like, no. And that's easily 180. 180 complete. I'm like, I want nothing. I don't want anything to do with them.
Well, they're a lot like San Francisco. Like, they just have a rotation of running backs, so you never know if this guy's going to be in there just 1 week and then you won't see him again for 4, or if he's going to play back-to-back games.
Yeah. But for football, that's great.
Oh, I agree. But Dynasty, it sucks.
For fantasy, it sucks, man. And
I worry Miami's going to be that way now too, though.
With all those backs that they got recently, yeah, probably.
Yeah, and he was the run game coordinator in San Francisco, so I don't think he's going to take that same philosophy there. So I wouldn't be too high on any Miami running backs this year.
Yeah, and then they just got Mostert over there, which is like kind of funny. Like Raheem Mostert's over there, and Gaskins, Salvin Ahmed, they just re-signed him, so they're using him somehow, some way. Didn't another one? Was it Duke Johnson?
I believe so. Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, overall, both these running backs, I like them. I would say James Cook might be.
Maybe like a later round pick. You think second? I feel like
I'm talking about Dynasty.
Yeah, NFL? I'm Dynasty. I don't know if I go second round even.
I think
because
second round.
I don't know what his usage will be and how productive he'll be, because he's not going to get a load of the carries.
Okay, I think Bryce Hall, Kenneth Walker as his filler. Easy number one. Probably top 10.
No, I totally agree.
James Cook, however, I think might circle around to the second round draft pick on some teams. And then you also have these other guys, Zamir White, who's also from Georgia, who shared time with James Cook. And we probably won't cover him But Zamir White, I think, was the original starter over James Cook, but I think James Cook is the higher prospect right now.
Yeah.
Because Zamir White actually broke 2,000 yards for his 3 years there. Where James
I guess
Cook,
I just want to see where he goes. Because if it's like an offensive-minded team, like, I could actually see him being more productive in a team like Miami because they're going to figure out ways to get him the ball. But if he goes to, I don't know, some team that's just a traditional, like, we got our number one back, then our number two back, like they're not going to figure out ways to try and get him the ball because he's very fast when he does get the ball.
I would get Zamir White or James Cook if they ended up behind Derrick Henry. I wouldn't mind.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, totally.
Just because they run so heavy. But if one of those guys ended up there. Now, definitely if one of these guys ended up in Atlanta, easy. Like if James Cook or Zamir White ended up in Atlanta, I would not be surprised when it comes to dynasty drafts that those guys end up being first-round draft picks. Because now that they're going to be the clear number ones there.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. We'll see. Draft is less than, a month away. Actually, it is a month away. Is it not? What's today? The 30th? I don't know why I keep thinking it's the 28th. I don't know. I don't. Yeah.
Losing track of days. But it happens.
So it is exactly a month away. About 4 weeks, and then it's the 28th, starting on Thursday. So hopefully we do a little bit more. We're gonna knock out these rookies before then, and then we're going to do more drafts on a website that I use, is the Draft Network, and we're gonna get into that. I'm going to assign you a couple of teams, and if Mark's there, I'm going to assign him a couple of teams, and it's going to be random. I'm probably going to do it with the Nerd Huddle guys too on Sunday. Not this Sunday, probably the previous Sunday after that. So if you can, join us on that one. But other than that, though, I have nothing else. Not really anything too crazy that happened today besides Bruce Arians.
No, not really.
So
news is slowing down. I think teams are focused on the draft now.
Yeah, the one main guy
bringing in depth guys.
Yeah, I still want to see where Bobby Wagner goes. That is the one guy I want to see. And I know you don't want him to go to the Rams. Like you would be okay.
I'm gonna be used to it now because somehow the Rams just bring in anybody whenever. Yeah.
But it would be nice
I'm glad that my division isn't. Yeah. Oh, I totally agree. I'm just glad that my division isn't like, how it has been, like bring in one big name. Oh, well, we have to compete. Now bring in a big name. And
yeah, kind of what the AFC West is doing.
It's transferred over there, which I'm kind of glad about. So
let those guys deal with it.
Yeah, you guys go gangbusters over there. Yeah, a little bit easier road to the playoffs now, hopefully.
All right. Well, if that's pretty much it. Knocked out these rookies. We'll hit up the other rookies, and we'll definitely get into that. We're almost done with. There's only a couple more players. I think we have about total eight more rookies to go. 5 of them QBs, and then the last 3 running backs that we have. And then we'll break down their film, and then we'll get into mock drafts. That should be fun. And hopefully some of the guys from the Get Right Network can join us in those. Those guys are drafting all the time. I'm actually getting texts from them all the time about Dynasty questions. So I'll be putting up more throughout the summer. So anyways, that's it, guys. Thanks for watching. And if you're watching this later, well, good morning, good evening, good night, wherever the hell you're at. This is Dynasty Pylon. That's Braden, the guy in the chair. And I'm Martin, and I'll catch you on the next one.
Getting hype when I aim up, elevating that game up, stepping up to the competition. Only first place, and that's how I'm living. I'm with it till they digging up my grave, eating all the things up on my plate. Game face when I step up into place. I was born and when I watched me elevate. when I watch me elevate.